you, first of all, for having this meeting, for having them twice monthly. My name is Patricia Sullivan, and when Congress passed the largest spending bill in history without reading it, I was so angered, and I believe it was a righteous indignation, that I knew that I had to do something fruitful, something forceful, and so I had a tea party, and I organized the tea party, and we called it the North Lake Tea Party. And on April 15th, I was hoping for perhaps 50 like-minded individuals. We planned it in about 2 weeks, and we had over 1,000 come out to our little park in Eustis. And that was exhilarating. It was motivating. We heard over and over again, please do something else. We don't want to stop. We were so encouraged that there were others who felt the same way. And so from that point forward, we knew that we would be about education and action. And so we began having meetings, and I would organize and plan meetings. I would have guest speakers, as you're doing here, come in. We had guest speakers for the fair tax, guest speakers from Independence Caucus on how to find and vet candidates. And we planned another tea party for July 4th, where we had an expo hall, where we had tables full of information. And during this progression, I began to find that we all had a passion, and we all had also the same fear. And there are many things, and I kind of at times will refer to or say to someone, you know, stop vacuuming the living room while the house is on fire. And I believe what we have in our nation right now is our house is on fire. And we have a lot of little, well, they're not little, they're big issues, but they're distractions almost, I believe, from the fact that we have a group of people who are trying to create such a financial crisis with an unsustainable debt that they will be able to remove the Constitution out from under us, and we will become a country that we do not recognize, and our freedoms and our liberties will be gone, and it's happening like that. So I felt the call really upon, I would have to say, my entire family, which I took very seriously as a stay-at-home mother. And yes, I do have a husband and father. He's actually on his way home from North Carolina right now. He's in the air, and as soon as he lands, he's actually driving here, and we're all going to have dinner together. So hopefully he'll get here before 5 o'clock, and you'll get to meet Scott as well.
Good name.
Yes.
Oh. Yes, Scott. Thank you, Scott.
But I know, being a 912 group, I believe number 2 on the list is that you believe in God and He is the center of your life. And we recognize through circumstances and through prayer and through other people that it was indeed God that was calling us to the task of running for Congress. It certainly isn't something I would wake up one day and say, oh, I think I'd like to be gutted like a fish, according to the words of Alan Grayson, which I have no fear of those remarks that he has made against the opponent. But it was something that we had to look at as a family and say either we're all in or this isn't something that we're going to do. So over a period of 2 weeks, we did that. And it's actually a great story, and I'm not going to take the time to tell it now. But it's a wonderful story of how our family moved together and how we were moved and how we came to that decision. So it was definitely a family decision to move forward with this because it's going to be a sacrifice for the entire family. And I will be in Washington for 2 years. And as my 12-year-old Ben, who said when I explained to him that, you know, there may be 4 or 5 weeks at a time, we looked at the schedule, where Mommy's gone for 4 days out of the week. And can you believe right now they want to make it a 3-day work week?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I heard the gentleman, oh, and what is his name? He, on special report with Brett Baer, Richard Crawford. Yeah. He said he wishes they'd go down to 1 day a week because then they couldn't do so much damage. But anyway, we looked at that as a family, and you know, and he said, but you know, they need you in Washington. My 12-year-old said, they need you, Mom, and it's just for a short time. But it's a sacrifice. So what do I plan on doing when I get there? Well, I am one of 435, and the important thing is that I am a leader, and you can look at what I've done with the North Lake Tea Party, but you can also look at what I've done as a homeschooling mother, as a Bible study teacher, and a leader in church. Our family attends First Baptist Mount Dora in Lake County, and you can look at my life, and you can look at the fruit of my life, and I invite you to look at both, to see that I can lead. And it's my intention to gather a group of like-minded representatives and to stand very firm upon principle and conviction, and to be a force that is reckoned with within this group that we come together, and to be a thorn in the side of anyone who stands against our Constitution and who's trying to take away our freedoms and our liberties. If you've looked at the U.S. debt clock recently, you see that we have now over $340,000 per person in unfunded mandates. Unfunded mandates. And as my 18-year-old daughter said, and you're not going to pay that for me, Mom? No, I'm not. I didn't buy her first car, and I'm not paying off your unfunded mandates either. I wouldn't be able to. And why? Because I'm probably just like you. Our family lives pretty much paycheck to paycheck. I am not a self-made millionaire. My husband will always say we're kid rich and cash poor, but I wouldn't have it any other way. And because we invest in our children, and they are our future. And actually, at our very first tea party, the only speakers we had were youth. Our main speaker was a 17-year-old high school senior, and our children were the ones who came up and recited quotes from our founding fathers. If we look back to our founding fathers and the quotes that many of us like to recite, it's almost as if they knew exactly where we were going to be today. And one of my favorite quotes is from one of my favorite founding fathers, and that is Samuel Adams. And he stated, "If there should come a time when vain and aspiring men hold the highest seats in government, then our country will stand in need of its experienced patriots to prevent its ruin." And I am a patriot. I am not a politician. And I recognize that it is your and our house, and when I am there, I will work for you, because I am you. I understand you. I understand your frustration, your fear, and your concern, because it's the same ones that I have. So I am dedicated and committed to doing what I'm doing right here today for the next 13 months. And that is every day getting out and talking to anyone who will listen to me, and I want to listen to you. And just like we were out protesting the media yesterday because they're silencing us, and I had my sister with me, and she hasn't had as much experience protesting as I had, but when we got home, she was exhilarated too, and she said, "That was America. The people we were out with yesterday, that is America." I'm like, "I know, Beth, I know. That is who I love. I love these people." And standing shoulder to shoulder. There's nowhere else, there's nothing else I would rather be doing right now at this time in our nation. Because it has to happen now. It has to happen now. If it doesn't, I don't know that it will. I don't know that we will be able to take government back into the hands of the people if we don't do it now. And I have 4 reasons why I have to do it now. I have to.
We must.
Yes.